Hello everyone, friends and subscribers, Kernel of Wisdom back again, and as promised, I'm finally going to be doing that follow-up video on Debsterism. It kept getting delayed and pushed back for a myriad of reasons. One of them being I've been having some issues with my audio. I've been getting a lot of complaints about the audio quality, and I tried to fix that in the default settings. I ended up making it worse. Then I had to go back and do it again. I think I got it to where I want it, and if I don't, this is the best it'll do. So if it's hard for you guys to understand me, please bear with me, and I apologize, ahead of the time. But now getting into why I want to do this follow-up video, I did get a comment under that old Debsterism video by a Debsterism fan whose user name is Nancy Drew 5. I typically see she's a red commentator under Debsterism videos. Probably subscribe to her. But anyway, I wanted to make a public response to Nancy Drew 5 because, to be fair, that wasn't one of my best uploads. That was back in, November? That was back last fall, so I was still really fresh at this. So it wasn't, most of you guys understood my point, but it wasn't one of my more eloquent videos. So I wanted to clarify what I actually meant in video. But it turns out that me delaying this video on Debsterism was a blessing in disguise, because she just now had because recently she had some, I guess this was online, she was doing a discussion on how the safe way to date thugs, or the right way to date thugs, or the right way to date street dudes or bad boys, as she puts it, without getting dicked over. That wasn't her exact words, but you guys know what I mean. And the audio is just full of so much fail that this one's going to be a doozy. It is really going to be satisfying just ripping into her broken logic. So maybe it's a good thing that it's like. Anyway, let me go ahead and read Nancy Drew's comment. Then I'm going to go ahead and talk about why her latest discussion on the proper way to date thugs made me face palm and rage. But anyway, here's what Nancy Drew said under my last video. How would a man know how many men a woman slept with unless she told them? I don't really understand the term ran through. Why should women be made to feel ashamed for enjoying sex? That's a double standard. Do men get tagged as ran through when they sleep around? Then they think they are entitled to settle down with Miss Virginity? I think a woman can have responsible, safe sex and not feel ashamed about it. I read the same article and didn't get any of those things out of it. Okay, Nancy Drew, to answer your question about the term ran through, you say you don't really understand the term. Well, it implies that a woman has had so many penises in her vagina and has been pounded so many times that her vaginal cavity is now loose and floppy and undesirable. That's what the term ran through means. So a man can be promiscuous, he could be a man whore, but he can't be ran through unless he's a homosexual. That's a bottom. But a heterosexual man, no, they can't be ran through. And I think you seem to be like fixated on the whole concept of shaming promiscuity and why it's okay for a man to be promiscuous and it's not okay for a woman to be. Well, some double standards exist for a reason, you see. Some gender double standards. And a lot of times it advantages one gender sometimes, and it disadvantages that same gender sometimes. And with the whole promiscuity thing, anybody who's familiar, any of my long-time subscribers who's familiar with my older videos already knows my stance on promiscuity, how I feel that it is socially destructive and should be discouraged for both genders. And make no mistake about it, even though a man can never be called a slut or a whore, even though he might get called a player or something by his friends, men do experience consequences for their stupid choices in women. So let's not get, unless they have money out the ass and they just pay for prostitutes. They just live a bachelor life like George Clooney. But most men don't have it like that. So men who sleep around with women who are scum, women who have baggage, or men who use women for sex, they're typically not happy with them. They're typically not happy with themselves, most of them, unless they're one of the MG toe guys. But I'm not referring to the MG toe people. I'm just referring to guys who do what Debsterism suggests women should do. Debsterism suggests since men have a time in their 20s when they have fun, quote unquote, have fun with women who are clearly not relationship material, then in their 30s they want to settle down. She is suggesting that black women do this, and that is terrible, awful advice. Black women, in fact, no woman of any race should do this. This is just horrible, awful, fail advice. It is just not going to work for you. You just have to get over it. Men don't like to think that they're going out with somebody's old cum rag, or they're going out with sloppy seconds, or somebody who has a bunch of battle scars or battle wounds, or they just had fun with the bad boys when they were super beautiful. Now that their looks are starting to fade, they want somebody of relationship material. Desirable men don't go for that. They just don't. Most desirable men don't. And to answer your question of how would a man know how many men a woman slept with unless she told him, you do realize that we have Twitter and Facebook, right? I don't do the whole Twitter and Facebook thing. It doesn't like appeal to me. Not because I have some sordid past or whatever, but I just appreciate my privacy. And I give out my own info on my own terms. I don't want people to be like Googling my name and all that mess. I just don't need that. But anyway, most people who Debsterism claims she's giving advice, or most young women, they do the whole Twitter and Facebook thing. And most of these young men, most of these young bad boys do the whole Twitter and Facebook thing too. So just because you don't tell a guy, he could find out on the internet eventually. So it's not so. And just because somebody told you that they won't tell you about your past or whatever you're doing, doesn't mean they're going to keep that promise. So yeah, that's not a good idea. And another part, why should women be made to feel shameful for enjoying sex? You can enjoy sex. Here's the thing, though. You can enjoy sex with one exclusive partner that you want to build a serious relationship with. But this isn't what Debsterism is preaching, Nancy dear. She is saying that women who are young in their 20s, they should just use these bad boys and street dudes for dildos, until they get their fill, until they get it out of their system, as she puts it. And then when they're 30, they should settle down for the good guy. See, you could enjoy sex and still be with a man of substance, be with a man who's going to treat you right and who's going to make you his wife, and you can enjoy each other's sex as much as you want. This is about promiscuity. You can enjoy sex with one person. You don't have to enjoy sex with a whole bunch of other people. And when you consider that black women are suffering from a whole AIDS issue that's being made public, for her to promote this lifestyle with black men and with so-called street dudes, because some of these and as she said, some of these street dudes aren't criminals, but some of them are also heroin junkies, and heroin junkies tend to be susceptible to AIDS and HIV. But she's saying, hey, as long as they're fun, as long as you just use them to have fun. See, she's doing this little like what should I call this? she's cleaning up words here. She's calling it having fun, but we all know what she really means. And if you guys still think that I'm just attacking this woman for no reason, you can look into my description box and see the links to the latest internet audio thing that she did on on the right way to date thugs. The username Remedy MP uploaded that on the website GenerationX.net. You guys can listen to that audio there and see it for yourself and listen to it for yourself. But another thing that just really irritates the hell, like pisses me off about this woman, what grinds my gears about this woman to no end, is that not only is much of her advice made a fail. Everything she says isn't always stupid. She does make some good points sometimes, but like 70% of what she says is just like idiocy, and she's just out of touch with reality. I just have to speak up on it, because there's a lot of naive young black women out here who are going to listen to her just for the simple fact they think, well, she's an older woman, she's had more life experience, so naturally she knows what she's talking about. Yeah, that factors into people's information, but she's not. It's so good to have life experience, but you also have to know how the real world works now, here in the now, today, in the present day. You can't be stuck in some 1970s second wave feminist shit and try to project that onto all women and think that's going to work for all women, especially women of color. It really doesn't work for women of color at all. Okay, what else? Sorry guys, I've been talking for a long time. Kind of need to take a bit of a breather. So yeah, I think I've answered Nancy Drew's question, and that's going to segue into my critique of Debsterism's latest topic of discussion on how to date thugs the right way. So I'm going to somewhat summarize the audio. Like I said, it's right here in my description box. You guys could click on it. So she basically says that, same thing I've said before. It's okay for younger women to have fun with these types of street dudes, because they are just for fun. They are just for, sexy time, because sex isn't about love. Sex is just about, fun, sexy time and enjoying yourself. That's the crap she's putting into women. She said, don't fall in love with these men and do not have their babies. Okay, very important. Have sex with them if you please. Just do not have their babies, because they are not relationship material, and don't fall in love with them because they're not relationship material. Hey, here's an idea. Why don't you just be with men who are relationship material in your 20s? And then she uses the whole excuse of, well, women in their 20s, they don't want to change diapers, they don't want to be June Cleaver. Okay, sure, fine. You don't have to do all that, but why can't you be in your 20s working on building your career, and then find a man in his 20s who's working on building his career, and you guys try to build something together as time goes on. Then when you could both settle down, when you're 30, at least you're doing it together. At least you guys built something together. What's wrong with that? Why isn't that good advice? No, she's suggesting that in your 20s you just mess around with the bad boys and the street dudes, just because they're fun, just because they make you feel good. Then when you're ready for a family, you just toss them aside. See, I don't believe in that. I don't believe in screwing with people's emotions. And see, this is another reason I have to call out Debsterism, because if black women listen to her, the singleness rate is gonna get worse for us. And she's not only the singleness rate, but she's just listening to her is dangerous. It really is, if you think about it. Because she's suggesting that black women, not only is it inaccurate, but it's also dangerous. She's suggesting that when black women are young and beautiful, and when they're as youthful and as beautiful and as desirable as they're going to get when they're at their peak, they just waste their time with these street guys, that's going to be okay. Just waste their time, get that out of their system, Then when they're 30 and have some mileage on them, and they're not as pretty as they used to be, not as thin as they used to be, then they could just go for the top tier men. You know, that's not going to work. And it's also dangerous because she, I'm going to have another link in my description box of the single most idiotic advice column on her entire website. The worst one yet. The one where she suggests that women should be bitches. In fact, it's so bad, I need to just read what some of what she says. Let's see now. Sorry for taking long, guys. I'm pulling it up. Although you'll be able to click on it yourself. This article from Surviving Dating, when she says a true way to a man's heart is being a belligerent bitch, in so many words. Honestly, I'm really beginning to wonder if this lady is just trolling. I mean, this lady cannot be serious. She just can't be. I really hope she's not serious. I mean, I can tell she's not a complete idiot. You know, I can tell she kind of has somewhat of a brain, kind of, sort of, but, let's see. I'm just going to read excerpts of this because it's just, like, classic. Don't you all notice how the drama-causing females have men falling all over them? That is because most men are boring and do the same damn things in and out every day, especially during basketball and football season. OMG. Men generally live boring, mundane lives of quiet desperation, and they look for the woman in their life to provide them with mental, physical, and emotional stimulation. Baking their favorite cookies, buying lingerie, learning new sex positions every damn week, and listening to him whine about his job does not count. Be a bitch instead. Tell men no at every possible opportunity. Say no, sometimes just because it's sunny outside. You don't need a reason. And conjugate the verb with hell and fuck and hell to the and motherfucker I said. And you must be out your rabbit ass mind, etc. for extra emphasis and stimulating romantic entertainment value. When he wants you to do him a favor, look at him crazy and tell him to get it or do it his damn self since he's supposed to be the man and all. Tell him to bring you something back too. When he complains that he is hungry, ask him, what the fuck you think I am gonna do about it? I ain't your mama. These are in all caps, by the way, which you guys can see, as I said, when you click on one of these links. If he wants you to fix him a plate, tell him that he has it twisted and neither Betty Crocker nor Mabel lives here. Fix your own plate and sit down and start eating. Remind him that since you were nice enough to cook, he is on trash dishes and sweeping and mopping duty because you like your kitchen cleaned every night. If he starts whining about sex, ask him when he is going to learn some new tricks. Tell him he really ought to read some books and learn a few new bedroom tricks because his shit is getting boring. Tell him when he has something exciting to do that you will be happy to join him in bed. And if he says, why don't you love me? Tell him, I do, you just don't appreciate my style of loving because you are too emotional. Why can't you be logical and reasonable about our relationship like I am? Oh, Lord. Oh, gosh. There's just not enough face palm. Guys, I don't think I could go on with this. My IQ is going to drop. Well, maybe I can muster up one more. He will complain, but secretly he'll love it because you talk shit to him, and he finds it to be wildly stimulating. When a woman talks shit to a man, it makes his dick hard. All of the above behaviors will make him crazy with passion for you. He will chase you to the ends of the earth and never want to leave your side. Oh, boy. Okay. So, wow, this thing's longer than I was hoping it would be. But anyway, guys, and I hope Nancy Drew is still, Nancy Drew 5 is still listening to this. Probably not, but whatever. Debsterism just really gives like shit advice, and I can't like stress that enough. But I also didn't go further into her audio that I wanted to talk about, and I don't want to bring this up because I don't think anybody else is picking up on this. One of the reasons she said that the bad boys or street guys are appealing is because they're witty and they always have a fun story, and they're always, you know, they have a sharp wit and they're quick with words, or they have the gift of gab or whatever. She said that at some point in the middle of the thing, but then early on she said that a lot of these street guys, they don't have much education and they can't speak properly. What? like how does that work though? So the street guys, they're not that bright and they're not eloquent, but they're witty and they're funny. What? Like how does that work? How does that work? Really? And then she mentioned how the nerdy guys, they're judgmental or they're snarky. Oh no, here's the real winner here. So there's a right way to date a street guy without getting dicked over, without ruining your life. You know, you could mess with the loopholes with that, but you gotta watch out for these nerdy nice guys because their snarky comments are the equivalent to traumatizing emotional abuse. Really? Just really, you know, it is funny to me how somewhere in the video she said that we accept snarky comments from men, or smart alecky douchebag comments from men because it seems to be a part of black culture almost. And technically she's kind of sort of right. I mean, look at this dude who has this channel called The Classic Beeps, where he just mirrors video of black YouTubers beefing with each other. So it does have some ring of truth to it. But the only problem is she engages in this snarky, smart-ass playing the dozens bullshit herself. So it's cool when a woman does it, and when she does it to men collectively, but when a guy does it to a woman, then he's evil and he's emotionally abusive and he's just going to eat her soul and crush her spirit like so many insects. Like, really? Oh gosh. And you know, this woman, I think a lot of, and if you listen to her talk about her past, you could understand that you shouldn't take a relationship or love advice from this lady. I mean she lost her husband in 1997 in an automobile accident, and yes, that is very tragic. I'm not saying that should have happened. I feel terrible for her. I'm so sorry that happened. That has to be the most unimaginable pain ever. But at the same time, she was never one of those widows who intended to just die alone and to just never have a husband ever again. Because at some point she said that since her husband's death, she's dated 500 men and none of them have been good enough for her to marry. And her husband's been dead for 15 years. And so in a span of 15 years, and go dating 500 men, they were just all shit. Right. Okay, Debbie, we'll just take your word for it. But no, seriously, this lady, she's just so like out of touch. She has the brain of a second wave white feminist. Her advice is dangerous for black women. She needs to just go sit down and eat some boiled prunes or something. She just need to just go sit her old ass down because she doesn't know what she's talking about. And I'm just so tired of hearing her crap. And I'm tired of none of the women standing up to her crap and calling it crap. And just, wow. Okay, I think I'm done with this, guys. I'll probably just... No, wait. I'm not done with this. I'm going to read one of the responses that she got for this bullshit True Path to a Man's Heart article. Because it was really enlightening and just confirms that her advice is horse crap. Let's see if I can find one of the commentators. Oh yeah, and I've noticed on her website, if you're a black woman and you don't agree with her, like her other black female clip writers will just stomp on you. They'll just jump all over you and just troll the shit out of you if you dare disagree with the almighty and powerful Debsterism. But, you know, whatever. Or Debsterism herself will jump on you. Deborah, I don't know how much your article is tongue-in-cheek, but at the end of the day, you are right. Women need to know their own worth. We are so quick to give a man everything he wants because we have been taught if you don't do it, he'll find someone who will. I've always felt if my not cooking would send him into the arms of another woman, he wasn't mine anyway. Men like the chase. If you are ready and available every time he wants you, it won't take long for the thrill to be gone. Allow a man to miss you for a minute. Stop being so willing to drop everything you were doing just because a man finally decides to call you. Stop accepting calls and visits after a decent hour. For me, is 10 p.m. Have standards, and a good man will meet them. I hate to see women who will drop her friends as soon as they hook up with a guy. That friend will be the one you will need to bitch to when he's done with you, so keep her close. All that said, I don't think that you have to be abrasive. Okay, here's the important one, guys. Wait for it. Okay, here we go. This user then went on to say, all that said, I don't think you have to be abrasive or be a bitch on wheels to get your point across. You could still be that magnificent black woman who earns respect because she gives it. I don't like to resort to stereotypical neck-wringing black woman antics because that's not me. I use language to convey my thoughts, and I'm confident that he understands the situation once we are done. If women will learn how to be by themselves, to enjoy their own company, to be brave and tenacious, when they will learn that men are just desserts, not the whole meal. We can live without them if a push came to a shove. It's lovely to live with them when we are honored and treasured, but we have to demand and command that respect. Okay. Now here was Debsterism's asshole response. Nowhere did I say you had to work your neck or be a bitch on wheels. And yet she suggested that you cuss the guy out and that you emasculate him and that you say his sex skills aren't good and all that. She suggested all that. Really interesting, Deborah. You know what? And here's the rest of this article. But seriously, this woman just pisses me the hell off. I don't even want to read all her bullshit. But you know what? I have to read because it's just so darkly humorous. Okay, let me finish. And what women have been trained to see as abrasive, men view as everyday communication style. Really, Deborah? Men view calling him motherfucker, I said, hell no, and just being like, just saying no to everything. That's everyday communication style. Okay. So again, your reservations are all about female socialization to be sweet and gentle and kind and ladylike and to talk to men in a way that shows respect, then you will get respect. Ha! That is the biggest fantasy in the world that women have been taught. Women that show men respect for no reason other than he is a male will always be the ones that get dropped out in the end. Even though that user didn't suggest you just show a man respect just because he's male. Nice straw man there, Deborah. Men need to prove themselves worthy of your respect. Sure, you can be generally courteous to old people, men, and strangers, but respect that a woman gives her man must always be earned. Shouldn't respect be earned for... Oh, God. Using language is exactly what I am saying a woman should do. Yeah, using foul language. But women need to use different words. Men understand what you say, but 99% of communication with men is how you say it. Yeah, and you're suggesting we say like an asshole. Tossing in a few motherfuckers here and there gets their attention, and you can then be confident he understands the situation once you are done. Really, Deb? You being all nice and sweetie pie all the time won't get it. What you say will go in one ear and out the other. Okay, and here's what this chick responded to, which was very telling, you guys. Wow, you read a lot into what I was saying. Stop being so reactionary and thinking everyone is against you. Because guess what? We're not. Well, I can only speak for myself. I don't disagree with your points. I disagree with how one gets their point across. I am not going to burst a blood vessel to get my point across. If I have to get that worked up to get my man straight, he is not the man for me. That was my point. So please do not get it twisted. You have a right to your opinion, and so do I. We could both want the same thing, but we have a different way of achieving it. It doesn't make you right or me wrong, and vice versa. I respect everyone's method of getting the job done. And please do not presume, here's the real kicker, and please do not presume to think that you know me or my stance on feminism. I have been a feminist for 41 years, since the age of 12, and I have gone through the angry feminist phase. It's all hype and unnecessary and only serves to raise your blood pressure. There are men out there who will listen. You don't have to clown and act up in order for them to do what is right. If you can't find a man like that, then it's time to look elsewhere. However, I do not believe I have to curse someone out to get my point across. That is not communication to me. And like I said before, if it comes down to my having to blow up to get a man to do right, who's the fool? I wish women would stop being so quick to try to pigeonhole other women who have a different method of achieving a goal. The world is big enough for more than one opinion. And though we may disagree with each other's technique, I will never disrespect you. Okay, this chick that Deborah was arguing with here, she says that she has been a feminist for 41 years since the age of 12. That would make her 53 years old. She could be 54 years old or 55 years old, because I believe this article is a year old or 2 years old. But anyway, the point is she's in her mid-50s. And she's been a feminist since the age of 12. She's been a feminist since the onset of puberty. And she went through the angry feminist phase. And she realized that it was all bullshit. And this woman herself is single and manless. A manless black woman who was once an angry feminist, who once followed Debsterism advice. And she's in her mid-50s and manless. Possibly childless. Or not, but we know she's manless. You guys get it? Do you guys see the connection now? Why black women cannot listen to this woman? Why listening to her is a problem? But another cruelly ironic twist, or hilariously ironic twist, however you want to look at it, is Debsterism's audio that was uploaded on Generation X, where she said that even though she says it's cool for women in their 20s to have their fun with bad boys, i.e. use bad boys as organic dildos, in their 20s only, and to not fall in love and not have children, she does not understand why she is seeing all these black women, young and old, childless and with children, with these bad boys who just sit on their ass all day and smoke blunts and play video games and just eat food in the house and just, live in the house and just screw them. She says she sees this so many times with black women and she doesn't understand why it happens. And it's funny to me because one thing she emphasized about the street guys, and how she put the street guys above the nice guys, is that she said they're less judgmental. Oh gosh, I know with this messed up audio that sounded like I was coughing or something, but I'm just laughing at this woman saying that somebody is too judgmental. This chick, and this is what Tommy was talking about, Tommy Sotomayor. See, with black women, it's totally cool for them to be judgmental, for them to call out other people's bullshit. As soon as you call out their bullshit, and as soon as you call out promiscuity, then you're the judgmental asshole. That is rich. That is comic gold. But anyway, Debster was talking about how these so-called street guys don't judge a woman's sexual past or whatever, and how the nerdy guys and the corny guys do. So that's one plus that they have over them. And she was saying, talking about snarky comments and how abusive it is, and she still doesn't see how that correlates to black women just letting loserly beta males just live off of them like parasites. She still doesn't see the connection, when the connection is obvious. They're able to do that because not only are they living dildos, but they also stroke these black women's egos. A lot of these black women have sordid, promiscuous pasts, and they don't appeal to the top tier men, or the men that they want, even if they don't want a nerdy guy or a guy who makes a bunch of money, whatever. They don't appeal to top tier men of substance. They don't appeal to the men they truly want, so they're stuck with these, with these loserly, underachieving street guy beta males that just gas them up and don't care that they're a little bit pudgy or a little bit old, or that they're reformed hoes, basically. They never judge them. That's why they keep them around. Wow, and Debsterism is too blind to see it. Wow, it's probably 40 minutes that I just ranted about this idiot. But yeah, I'm done. This is why I said, some black women, some older black women, they just really need to sit down and shut up. Just like Rick Scorpio said, a lot of older black men don't know what's going on, and they need to sit down and shut up. A lot of these 60s babies and 70s babies, they just need to be quiet, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, that's it. Colonel Wisdom out. Hope you guys were able to hear this. Good night, everybody.